But Miracles will tell me why the regional centers are important. Should tell me.
So I mean, like I said, I don't speak for the electoral commission. I think I usually make.
So it is your
the
point
whole
of
idea.
view.
No,
So
I'll come to. I think that when we are speaking about electoral reforms and process, we should stop this whole preempting of everything being mischief. Somebody wants to do something, it's as if it's the same.
You're not going to tell anybody how to make his submissions here.
Please. Let's not start it, please.
You're not going to tell anybody.
Please go ahead.
You're not going to teach me how I should make my submissions here. It is my view.
Okay.
And so you can't tell me
I proceed?
we should do what.
So we should stop, trying to always impugn mischief and impugn crime and somebody trying to do something. I think
that
it's
is
unfair.
also there.
Stop also praising.
That is also there.
Stop also praising.
Okay, that's okay, please.
That's also there.
Can I
Please,
proceed now?
he's making submission.
Can I proceed?
And then you also make your submission.
Especially if we don't have the complete info. Because the electoral commission, they've always tried to explain this whole, and I know I made a point earlier that listen, this process is just to improve it. Otherwise, why? Why are you also advocating for constituency coalition? Shouldn't they send it from 275 polling stations? The presidential resource, it has no business at the constituency coalition center. You understand? The presidential resource is declared in Accra. So we might as well, in order not to create tension, because at the constituency to be wait. The 500 police stations, some have brought, some haven't brought. So when you go to the coalition center, that is why, even though you have a small constituency, you realize that declaration at the constituency level or announcement at the constituency is done in the midnight. It is because some polling stations haven't come yet. You understand? Then we might as well send it from the police station to Accra straight away so that nobody can do anything. Because whatever can be done, it's also the same electoral commission officers who are the constituency coalition center. It's the same electoral commission officers who are the regional center. This is what the electoral commission said. The electoral commission said that the regional coalition centers were useful and will be maintained. The regionals came in to reduce the disconnect between the constituencies and the national so that you have somebody playing another significant role, providing another layer of checks and balances. The electoral area will also provide another layer. So we want to ensure that there are several layers of accountability. In that way, our thinking is that we are not going to have many people converging. And this is something that has just been floated in the commission. So the electoral commission is even as we speak, thinking about an electoral area level coalition. Because others are saying that, well, because we have representation at the constituency, that's why we are collating. Electoral area level, we have representation. The people who have assembly members. The
local government
yes,
structure.
the structure. It is the polling station, electoral area, constituency. You understand? And they all have representation.
On that day, are you voting for assemblyman?
Oh.
No, he's talking about the
On
structure
that
we
day.
have. By
No,
way
but
of
this
the,
is so wrong.
the demarcation.
Can
The
you not
demarcation.
point down?
Can you
He's
just
talking about
note-
They are not the
demarcation.
owner of this program.
Please, go ahead.
I don't know where you slept to. Why are you
I
interrupting
slept
me
in your
like that?
mother's room.
Please go ahead.
In your mother's room.
I will not be distracted. So, in the interest of transparency, if you think that having a regional coalition center creates another layer, then constituency coalition center for presidential results should also be removed, because the real numbers is at the polling station. That is where the primary data is. So, if you believe that once you get to the regional level, it turns into a tertiary data and it's subject to manipulation, then the electoral commission is at the polling station. They shouldn't bring it to the constituency coalition center. And again, Roland, some of these arguments sometimes. So you are waiting in Accra for Ashanti region results. And there's tension because they have 47 constituencies and the region hasn't come because it's large. Why? At Accra, won't you be waiting for the same constituency that hasn't arrived in Kumasi? That same constituency, for which reason at the regional level, they are waiting so they can send to you. You will be waiting for it in Accra. Haven't we had situations in this country, in the same strong room which you go to, where we have to wait for several other constituencies? Now, the challenge that the Electoral Commission sought to cure with this regional thing is that sometimes at the coalition, the strong room here in Accra, as we call it, they will begin to go into pink sheets and polling station results scrutiny. And that's why when you read from the Electoral Commission statement, they are trying to say that, listen, you do all this scrutinization, you get another opportunity to do the scrutinization at the regional level so that it reduces that scrutiny at the national level. In any case, these are all things to help improve the system. So for me, I don't know why anybody will get so angry and fight over this. Me, I don't care the processes that the Electoral Commission brings, so long as it's transparent. Nobody sitting around this table has been able to say any cogent or valid point that shows that the regional level allows for any manipulation. Because that same manipulation can happen at the constituency. It is only the 500 polling stations that has been put together at the constituency level into a bulk sum that is brought to the region. In fact, if there is anywhere in our electoral process that figures can actually be manipulated, it is at the constituency collation. Because that is where you are talking about 500 polling stations, 800 polling stations. But at the regional level, where you are looking at 33 constituencies in the eastern region, if it comes to the results from Ekuapem North comes to Koforidua, and you, the political party, you are a serious political party, you should know that in the Ekuapem North, you got 30,000. So at the regional level, all you are checking, Roland, all you are checking at the regional level is whether the Ekuapem North results that they are recording in Koforidua is 30,000. If it is not 30,000, then you can go and say, can we go and look at the pink sheets? You understand? It is only non-serious political parties who have issues with these. Because the same primary data that comes to constituency is the same data that is being put together. Then the aggregated figure is brought to the constituency level. And I'll give you the scenario, then I'll wrap up. In the Ekuapem North, there are 135 polling stations. So the 135 polling stations will be brought to the Ekuapem North Collation Center, Roland. Then we will say that MPP got 30,000, NDC got 20,000. In Koforidua, all the region is waiting for is how many votes did MPP get and how many votes did NDC get. So they look for MPP 30,000, NDC 20,000. At that point, you, the party, you have an opportunity to check whether your Ekuapem North results of 20,000, that is what has been recorded for your party at Koforidua. Then you sign. Then Koforidua will also transmit it to Accra. So that when it gets to Accra, Accra will not be saddled with what is Latte Methodist Primary School figures. Because NDC is saying that they got 20,000, but they are getting 19,820. If you ask me, anybody that is very objective and understand how some of these things work and is a serious party would go for this. Because that is the only way you can actually track. You can actually track how your figures, whether they are being manipulated or not. Because by the time you get to Koforidua, you are holding your 20,000 figure. If it's been manipulated, you know. And then you will show them your constituency collation sheet to tell them that, why are you recording 19,000? In the campaign, I've got 20,000. This is the sheet I have signed. Why is this a problem? And then we want to bamboozle everybody and create an impression as if somebody has done it's all lie. If you are lazy, if you're a lazy political party, you have an issue with this.
Roland, just a minute. Roland, why would Miracles call any party a non-serious political party?
If you can't
No.
Why? By you can tell me what to say.
Miracles.
Listen,
if the shoe were on the other foot...
You are not serious.
Wait.
Then you have a problem with
If the shoe were on the other foot and you were in opposition and the party that is in power is not your party and they brought this in and you opposed, will you call yourself a non-serious political party?
You can call me so
Stop
if
that.
you feel it is.
Stop that.
You are not
Does it
serious.
mean
Stop
that
that.
consistently when the NDC
Stop
opposed
that.
things of the Electoral Commission, and then it was in opposition, it was not serious?
No, but you see,
and then when the MPP did, it was serious.
No, serious.
Why?
Is that what you're saying?
We are talking to a specific matter that you can have your collation sheet.
But all matters have been linked.
All matters
since
with
1992 in all Electoral Commission organized national elections that we've organized, all linked to the final result.
Roland,
Okay.
I can
Now
tell
let
you
me
that.
show you something.
No, but you ask me a question, you don't need to respond.
Okay, I made a comment.
You see that thing
I
that
made
you
a
do?
comment. No, I don't do
Then
it.
let me
Please
respond.
don't fight the fight. I don't like
Let
that.
me
Why is that?
respond. You two like that too much.
Please bring him water. Now, the Electoral Commission, according to the argument that is being made, wants to undertake this at the regional level. So it finally gets the regional figures, and for consistent hours, the party agents, the observer groups, and the officers themselves, including the media who are also observers, would have to wait for hours. And that was my experience from the last election. Now, the Electoral Commission from the last election first declared a final result for the presidential. 30,434,574. Now, as the total valid votes cast, as they said, the one captured on the EC's official document was, Danny, please show those documents and let me, was 30,121,111. So you go to the previous one. Let's go to the previous one. So this one was the one that was declared finally. Now, the EC then comes back and makes another declaration and carries a significant number of difference of 39,400. Then consistently, it makes another declaration that also is lower than the initial one, being 30,119,460. Now, anybody observing will say that the inconsistencies, if they were supposed to ensure that final results were collated just at the regional level for 16 regions, we shouldn't have been seeing this. That also breeds the trust, right?
So the very year that the regional coalition centers were introduced, this is the outcome we've had. The year 2020, the year it was introduced, the outcome is this multiple results. The year that it was introduced, which is being argued on this table that it is to make the work of the EC difficult. Didn't it end up making the work of the EC more difficult? It even ended up making the work of the EC more difficult. So, did these regional coalition centers come to help the EC conduct free and fair elections? The answer is no. Look at the number of results you are mentioning. But for the fact that Nkrumah said Ghanaians are slow in reaction, this country could have plunged into chaos. In some countries, this transmogrifying of results
into war.
In some countries, just at the back of our border here, or at the top of our border over there, this would have resulted in a war. But for the fact that Ghanaians are slow to anger, but Nkrumah said when they strike, they never stop. So when we sit here, let's speak truth to power. Because you and me cannot be carrying our mattresses with our children across the country because of the inefficiency of one commissioner. Why? He talks about, then why don't we do electoral area coalition? How?
Okay.
On that day, did we vote for assemblymen? Every election has its purpose. This election is for president and it's for parliament.
What he meant to say was polling station. We know that we do declaration at the polling station. So we're saying that why then
he added assembly members. He mentioned assembly members. I didn't mention it. Now, there's good reason why you declare the presidential elections at the constituency, even though the whole country is one. Because you want to compare. For planning purposes of a party, you want to compare what your president or your presidential candidate got in a constituency as against your parliamentary candidate, so that it can be used for planning purposes. Is it that the candidate is not popular, or is it that the parliamentary candidate is more popular than the presidential candidate? All these things are used by parties to understand who to present the next time. So there's good reason why, even though the whole country is one, you must declare the presidential elections at the constituency level as well.
Sad.
Mr. Amaliba, but if you take the regional coalition results, and we all have seen, we have the constituency results there for each region.
What are you talking about? We are saying that don't do that one. Don't do the regional one. Because it's prone. Can you rein him with this is belly laughter, that those things? When people are making presentations, he's laughing like a jackal. Can you stop him?
You shouldn't laugh. Oh, please.
Can you stop him? We can also equally do so. But this is a serious program. People are listening. So, if
just be mindful of the words we use.
Oh my God.
Please go ahead.
No, but he deserves it. Now,
I don't think it's right calling him a jackal.
If you decide that you want
I refuse to respond to him.
you want
He didn't
to
sleep all
do
that
presidential,
night.
you want to do presidential coalition at the constituency, there's good reason for it. But you cannot say that then we should also do assembly electoral area coalition. How can we do that? Because on that day we are not voting for
I
assemblymen.
told you he meant polling station results.
On that day we are not voting for assemblymen there. So where does electoral area coalition comes in?
It's sad.
Okay.
So I think that the EC itself has not come out to tell us the reason for introducing a second layer. That second layer is needless. And I'm saying that that is where people suspect that it's a conduit for fraudulent activities. And he has rightly indicated it's about figures. So if you transmit your collation figures to Accra, your constituency coalition figures to Accra, it can be tabulated in Accra. I do not think that we should put away what Afarian has indicated, that in order not to create more tension, in order not to create more centers for fraudulent activities, we should do away with the regional coalition center because it doesn't help us. And I've indicated to you how, even on the year that it was introduced, we had multiple election results, final results. And this was what Jim Mensah ran away from when he was called onto the witness box.
Roland,
Mr. Jatwa.
Roland, let me ask a question. In this Fourth Republic, would you say there's trust for the Electoral Commission?
As of now, well, I haven't made any.
You've handled elections for quite some time now, over 10 years. Would you say there's trust for Electoral Commission in this Fourth Republic?
Why not?
Look,
It's only the NDC that complain about Electoral Commission. Ghanaians
Please,
believe in them.
Dennis, please. When
Why
you are
is
doing
my
it,
uncle?
they are
But he did it to me.
it doesn't mean.
You see when I was doing, you did it to me.
You said you
talk.
didn't want
When
that.
they were
Now you are
it,
doing
Madarasa,
that.
did you intervene? Did you intervene?
Please stop it. Please go ahead.
I think the process in putting an Electoral Commissioner in place should be changed. Should be changed.
You think that's a problem?
It's a problem. It's a big problem. The fact that it's the president who nominates, it should change so that everybody can have confidence. Everybody can have confidence in the fact that the person leading it can be non-partisan. I think it's a challenge. That is why for some of us, there are certain articles in the Constitution that need to be looked at and changed for the betterment of the
You think the
country.
current electoral commission is a problem?
I'm saying the perception that the Electoral Commission or Electoral Commissioner will hamper to one side is a problem. I'll give you an example. The NDC, although I don't agree with what they've done, the NDC do not want to attend IPAC meetings. What has been the posture of the Electoral Commissioner? What has been the posture of the comments of the Electoral Commission? Isn't it a situation where the Electoral Commission, any political party who seems to have some aversion to some of the things you do, isn't it up to the Electoral Commissioner to be the bigger party or the bigger father? Go to them and say, yes, let's try and sort out this misunderstanding we have so that we can have an Electoral Commission which encompasses all political parties. Why should one political party be standing out, irrespective of the fact that they have chosen, and I don't agree to what they've done? Somebody has to be able, and it's the Electoral Commission's mandate to be able to do that. If it so happened that the MPP were also doing that, would we say, Electoral Commissioner, why are you sitting there? Why don't you go and talk? Talk to them. Let's have a sanitized system where everybody can trust and believe. Look, in this country, perception goes far. Perception sometimes even goes further than the truth. Perception. And it has to be cured. And it's because of these things that bring mistrust. What is election? You go to other countries, don't they have elections without any problem?
Well, in Africa, elections have caused wars.
Why? Why? Don't we want to cure that? Any president who comes, doesn't he want to cure it? Doesn't he ask himself? And any president who comes, shouldn't he look at some of the wrong things that the other party has done to be able to change it? But maybe because it could suit the new president that comes in, they leave it. I don't think that is right. We need to have maximum trust in the Electoral Commission and no perception that, or this, it is wrong. It doesn't help anybody.
Now, the way the two parties are at variance, we have the governing MPP and then the opposition NDC. One has a difficulty with the Electoral Commission that is also directly linked to the perception, which is currently very low by way of trust. And then Dennis also says that, well, myself and my party, we have no difficulty with the processes for the compilation that have been put in place by the EC. There's nothing wrong with that. So
they empower. They empower. And anything that they do to, enhance the way they look at things is there. So, typical example, Jachi Kwesin. The NDC have what? Have chosen him to stand. The NDC have chosen him to stand because they feel, irrespective of what may go on, irrespective of whether there will be a criminal case, irrespective of anything, they feel, and the party will come first as far as they are concerned, they feel he's the man who can win that seat for them. So they've chosen him. Although people will say, no, don't choose him because the possibility of X, Y, Z, we'll do it. The party's interest. So if they see that what is happening will be to their advantage, yes, they will do it. But that is where it is wrong, because always the country has to come first before any political party. And that is where political parties in this country have missed it. The country never comes first. Political parties come first before the country. And that is wrong.
Let me give you 2 minutes to do that.
This morning, after all the conversations around this thing, can you be convinced, or do you think anybody at all is convinced where there's some submission that there is anything wrong, or there is anything that benefits one against the other in regional coalition? None. Zero. They have said nothing. In terms of convincing people to say that, oh, this is the reason why...
You're saying key stakeholders making key comments.
Oh, I said this morning, I said around this table. Please, don't take me out of context. I am telling you that around this table, I am not convinced. I don't know about you. But I'm sure if you were convinced, you would ask certain questions. The point is that if you are unable to show that there is anything on... Is it the first time we are seeing challenges with the Electoral Commission's coalition? Polling stations being... Haven't you seen political parties fight over results in the coalition center? What are you doing to us? And then when you say it, you have lawyers calling people names. How will you ignore that? But the point is that we must stick to the issues. If we have a challenge with the Electoral Commission, we'll go to them. Go to the Electoral Commission, make your case, go and sit at IPAC, give reasons that make sense. Not reasons that are based on emotions and you think that because you feel that you cannot collate your results at the constituency, this shouldn't happen. Because that's why I'm saying it is aggregation of figures. It is only lazy political parties and non-serious political parties who would have an issue with this. 100 police stations, you put them together to one constituency. Then you put the constituencies together into another level, and then you are complaining about it. You rather want the plenty to be sent to one center to be more chaos. And you want to convince me that 275 to the National Collation Center is less chaotic than 16 to the National Chaotic Center, Collation Center. Meanwhile, it is the same electoral commission, the same electoral commission at the National Collation Center, the same electoral commission at polling station, the same electoral commission at constituency, the same electoral commission at region. Tomorrow, even if the electoral commission brings different 5,000 layers of collation, we as a political party, we believe that it even enhances transparency. If there are plenty eyes to scrutinize the figures. They don't like transparency. These guys, they introduce opaque boxes. They like things to be done in bleak and dark. What you say is you have lawyers insulting people.
There are 2 minutes.
It is the first time that an election management body has failed to give us one concise election results in this country.
Presidential,
yes. It's the first time. It's the first time. And that goes to affect the credibility of that election management body. So it is only political parties that benefit from the rot.
We are lazy.
That benefits from the rot arising out of the work of the election management body that will sit down and support such election management body. All that we are saying.
Please, can you stop it?
When it's called me a jackal, did you call me?
Why?
You allow somebody to be called a jackal on your show.
Stop it.
I'm waiting to finish, then I'll deal with that. You allow
stop it.
You allow
stop it.
Stop it. To be called a jackal.
Johnny, stop it.
Have you dealt with that
Johnny,
one?
stop it.
Have you dealt with that
Stop
one?
it.
No, but you're not listening to that
now,
one.
Please
or
stop
I should
it.
ignore it.
Please stop
Tell
it.
me to ignore it, but don't tell me to stop it.
Now, with this introduction of the Regional Coalition
Can
Center,
you allow
James,
panelists
the
to be
question,
called a jackal? You are not addressing that matter. It
question
doesn't matter to you.
that we have asked on this table,
It doesn't matter to you.
flowing from what Afarijan said, is what is the regional coalition center going to cure? Has the constituency coalition center not served us well?
No, don't tell me that.
Hasn't it served us well?
Then stop it.
Don't tell me to stop it.
Can you let him make his submission? I give it to
You
you.
allow a lawyer to call the Ejaka on
Please
your show.
stop it.
You won't allow him
He's
to.
being
You won't tell him to
disruptive.
withdraw it.
Please.
You will
Now-
not tell him to withdraw it.
now-
That's
Please
what you're
continue.
doing.
Now,
You will not tell him to withdraw it.
Now, clearly,
You want me to sit down and become
Dennis,
Ejaka?
please, stop
No,
it.
but are you
Please go
hearing
ahead.
me?
Now-
Go ahead.
for the
That on your
purpose
show.
of our election,
Dennis,
for
can
the
you make
purpose-
him make his
on your
submission?
show,
Why are you doing
on
your
your
this?
show,
Stop
you
it.
allow a lawyer to
I
become
gave you 2
Ejaka.
minutes.
For-
Please
on
stop
your
it.
show.
for,
On
for-
your show.
for the purpose of our elections, let me reiterate the point that you do not have a regional coalition center just because an election management body says that it is convenient,
Okay.
and that the election management body feels lazy to count.
Okay,
And for that matter, we should have a regional coalition center.
I did.
The regional coalition center, for me, is an opening. It's an opening
not hear me say
that
this?
has. Oh, these people are distractive. They are distractive.
Yes.
These
You're
people are
listening.
distractive.
And the host has
The,
ignored
the regional coalition center is a conduit for
host.
the political party to be in cahoot, the government party to be in cahoot with the EC management body to steal the elections. And we are saying that we are against the regional coalition center. Let's revert to our constituency coalition center, which has served us all these years, and there hasn't been any problem. The EC should not be looking at its administrative convenience to create a second layer which would affect the validity of our elections. And I think that it's about time that if this matter goes to Parliament, it should be shut down, and then we can have the constituency coalition center as the final restored. Yes.
Mr. Gentle, how do we get our head around this from both parties?
When you say both parties, you mean MPP and DC or what?
Yeah, because they are the main antagonists and protagonists on the subject.
It has to.
Please.
What?
Is it that all the opposition parties are against what?
It's not all the opposition parties. It is something that the Electoral Commission should bring the parties together and discuss in depth. Listen to everybody's challenge with it. Those who support, those who are not too sure about it, those who are opposed to it. And please, the NDC should stop this thing about not going to the Electoral Commission IPAC.
Yeah,
please, I beg of them. I beg of them.
Don't.
It
Do what
helps.
you
It
want.
helps. They should please. We are going into an election. Issues like this that needs to be discussed shouldn't be discussed at a press conference. It's at the doorstep of the Electoral Commission. So NDC, I beg you, try as much as possible. Go back to IPAC and let's all sit and discuss it. Let's all sit and discuss it. That is the only way we can get some semblance of understanding. That's the only way. Because if two parties say, okay, we are for it, we are not for it, one say they are not for it, but the one who says they are not for it are outside that group, how do we resolve it? And we want to move forward at any given time. Okay.
All right. Now, let's move on to the next topic.
No, address the insult. It's not nice. It's early morning. Children are watching.
Which insult? What was the
The
insult?
lawyer called me Ejaka. You are not addressing it. It doesn't matter to you.
What did I do
Let's
wrong?
proceed. It's fine. It's okay.
All right.